Hey Kevin, what are you doing?
We're putting the antenna back on because I hit brush too many times.
Maybe three many.
You know what? That antenna unscrews. You can unscrew it and take it off. You're driving like a madman. The Pilbara is a region in the northwest corner of Western Australia, a large and expansive area that's mostly desert and outback. However, the discovery of iron ore there and the subsequent mining and railroad operations have changed the Pilbara forever. It is a grand and majestic place, really like nowhere on the earth. And they say that it gets in your blood, and I believe it. So we left for Australia on a Monday, August 7th, and 40 hours of travel time later arrived in Karatha. And that made it a Wednesday because we lost a day because of the dateline. So Thursday morning we had to spend most of the day close to Karratha to collect our baggage, which didn't make our flight from Perth. And consequently on Thursday we stayed pretty close to home base in Wickham. We shot Dampier, we shot Cape Lambert, and a little bit of stuff on the Hamersley Iron side of things. Cape Lambert is one of the few port facilities where you can see about all of it. Because there's access to the beach, there's also access to Rio Tinto's port facilities. Railroad operations are just mind-boggling. When we arrived in Karratha, we picked up our mine-compliant ute. That's a very important consideration when you're in the Pilbara, because the ute comes with 2 spare tires, a ginormous fuel tank so that you don't have to worry about fuel when you're in the outback, and extra safety equipment and 2-way radio and what have you. On our trip in 2011, we had a flat tire on a regular rental car and had to drive about 100 miles with no spare, which was rather terrifying. And in 2018, we had a mine-compliant ute and had a flat, and it was terrifying only having 1 spare. So the extra spare tires are critical, and definitely a comfort when you're out in the desolation of the outback. On Friday, we started off with sunrise at Cape Lambert. Then we worked our way up Hamersley past Western Creek, ate lunch at Ibis, and finished up at the Fortescue River Bridge, where we waited in vain for a northbound that never showed up. The Fortescue River Bridge was turning out to be a challenge for us. We tried in 2011 to get there and ran across a ballast train at Maitland, indicating there was not going to be any action on the line. We tried again in 2018 and all we got was a southbound, whereas the shot we wanted was a northbound. And we tried again in 2023 and our first attempt came up empty again. On Saturday, we opted to spend the morning on Table Mesa on the Robe River line on Puya Pass. And then after we ate lunch on the mesa, we spent the rest of the late afternoon, evening at Harding on a big sweeping curve that wasn't there in 2011 because the track was single track and had been duplicated since then. And we picked this location and we're set up for a northbound coming in towards Cape Lambert. And we got skunked. We shot 5 southbounds before the sun set. Well, tonight we went to the grocery store and it was closed because it's Saturday. So we're making do with what we have. Unfortunately, cheers. What we have is snags. It will have to do.
Cheers.
What's that?
Yeast byproducts with leftover ingredients from the beer brewing process.
Yum.
It's full of B vitamins.
Yum. On Sunday, August 13th, we got up early, 5 a.m., and drove down the Robe line to Chertypool. Our goal was again to chase a train out up the Robe line and get a shot at the Fortescue River Bridge. And we caught a couple of trains, and we got one at the Fortescue River Bridge. It was really too early and the light was on the wrong side of the bridge. That worked out okay for my drone, but it didn't work out so good for the DSLRs. So we really still didn't get what we needed at Fortescue River Bridge.
Vamos lá, galera! Vamos lá! Vamos lá, galera!
We ate lunch north of Western Creek Junction on the Robe line, and then we moved over to the Hamersley Iron side and spent the afternoon at Gecko, also known as Benson Falls, after our good friend John Benson, who fell off of a cut there many years ago. And we had a spectacular afternoon, just a parade of trains. It's such a fun spot with the S-curves. You can work both directions. Really a pleasant place to spend an afternoon. Speaking of John Benson, Mel and I didn't figure out the Pilbara on our own. The trips in 2011 and 2018 were both with John, who had made many trips to both Australia and the Pilbara before. So he knew the drill and had it all figured out. And on those first two trips, we relied heavily on John's expertise for how to get around the Pilbara and get what we wanted. So a tip of the cap to John. We couldn't have done it without him. Then we worked our way back through Harding to get to home base in Wickham, and came upon one of the challenges of being in Wickham, and that was Wickham doesn't have anything open after hours, which is about 6 o'clock, and we'd come dragging in at 6:30 or 7, and nothing for dinner, no fuel for the ute. And so the next morning we'd have to get up and drive over to Karatha to get fuel and food and what have you. And that proved to be one of the themes of staying in Wickham, is that we did a lot of to and fro as we ran back and forth to Karratha to get supplies. Sunday night we had another problem. The key fob on our ute quit working, and not only did we have alarms on the dash, but you had to use the key to get in. You couldn't use the key fob. So the next morning, Monday, we headed into Karratha again on another trip for a supply we didn't anticipate, in this case batteries for the key fob for the ute. So we took that opportunity to shoot the salt pans at Dampier, a place Lon hadn't been to before. And then we worked our way back to Western Creek Junction, where Robe and Hamersley cross, an incredibly busy location because of the two routes. Then we shot a little bit more at Gecko, had lunch at Emu, not far from Western Creek Junction. And then once again we went to the big curve at Harding, trying to get that northbound shot we were after. And here we are having lunch in the Pilbara, somewhere near the top of the grade on Hamersley. Cheers. Cheers indeed. Our time at Wickham was coming to an end on the Cape Lambert Dampier side of the Pilbara, shooting Rio Tinto's lines, and we were getting ready to head for the next phase of the trip, which was going to be at Oski Roadhouse, deep in the outback. Hey, thanks for watching.